Greetings everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the importance of bacteria, among which we have two major aspects, which includes the ecological importance of bacteria and economic importance of bacteria. First, we are going to discuss the ecological importance, how ecologically bacteria are important. First, we need to consider three major points regarding the ecological importance of bacteria, which number one includes the role of bacteria as recyclers, role of bacteria as recyclers of nature. So we know that in the environment there are two certain types of recyclers which are prevalent and are very important in the decomposition process occurring in our environment. So that's the cycle or of uh, so that the cycle of food, or which is also known as a food chain, can be completed. How? Let's see that as well. So after that we have bioremediation, after which we have nitrogen fixation. When it comes to the terminology recycling, recycling means to recycle or reutilize, or utilize something which is already being consumed, or something which is already being utilized. So in that manner we know that whenever we have let's suppose a plant, let's suppose we have a plant over here, and that plant produces glucose or food, and that food produced is consumed by animals, and that food consumed by animals will be utilized by animals for their metabolic processes. And once the animals utilize those food, they will die once, and then they will tend to be their dead bodies will ultimately remain decayed. Their dead bodies will ultimately start to decay. As a result of their dead body starting to decay, will cause first to form a structure, or minute pieces of their dead body, minute pieces of the dead body, which is known as detritus. Detritus, minute pieces, or minute remains of the dead body of that animal, uh, that is detritus. Now, and it's not necessary that it should be of animals only, it can also be of plants and other higher living organisms as well. So detritus, and those organisms which depend on detritus as their nutrition are known as detrivores. Example of this is earthworm. Now, detritus basically is then utilized. Detritus is then converted into a partially decayed organic matter, which is what we call as humus. Now, humus is a partially decayed organic matter, and this process of converting detritus into humus is known as humification. Humification, right? Now, it is a partially decayed organic matter which would be further converted into minerals, which are the inorganic compounds. So, in order to convert humus in mineral, again some bacteria will be utilized, and this time this process would be considered as mineralization, right? So, humification is a process which is also done by bacteria, as well as mineralization is a process which is also done by bacteria. Hence, this type of role of bacterial action is considered as an important recycling method, in which we have particularly the involvement of the saprotrophic bacteria, which perform humification and mineralization. All right. Once these minerals are formed, these minerals are formed are with these are reutilized by plants or other um, photoautotrophs or other autotrophs. So since these minerals are again utilized by plants, these plants utilize and conduct the process of photosynthesis in order to produce the glucose, which is then again utilized either by the plant or by the animal. So it is utilized by the plant as well as by the animal, due to which when plant and animal utilize them for their metabolic processes, they enhance their development, and once they die, they are again converted into detritus, and then gradually converted into humus and mineral with the help of bacterial action. So in this case, recycling is a major process in which the bacteria are involved. Apart from which, when it comes to another process, which we consider important in terms of um, ecological importance of bacteria is bioremediation. Understanding the terminology bioremediation, first and foremost, that what does it actually mean? It means that bioremediation is a process in which we, in which the environmental pollutants or environmental wastes are remediated or are removed from the environment with the help of living organisms. So again, we are having two major organisms for bioremediation. There is bacteria and fungi. We have discussed about fungi, that how it works in bioremediation. What we are discussing now is about bacteria, that how do they perform bacterial action. Let's suppose we have um, a, an bacteria, Bacillus subtilis. It is a rod-shaped bacteria. Bacillus subtilis. Now, when this rod-shaped bacteria is genetically altered, naturally there are some bacteria which love to, you know, attack on contaminants or bio waste, and utilize them as a source of energy. So naturally there are bacteria which attack on contaminants and remove the contaminants from the environment. But there are certain bacteria which are also genetically altered, so that the genes of attacking genes of utilizing contaminants or biological waste as their energy products can be inserted into them, as a result of which they are then able to conduct the process of as a result of which they are then able to conduct the process of their metabolic requirement, alongside which they are also able to protect the environment. So in this case, let's suppose we have Bacillus subtilis, which is a bacteria. Now, when Bacillus subtilis is genetically altered, let's suppose it this is the plasmid of it, and we are cutting the plasmid using the restriction endonuclease, as a result of which we get um, a space, a vacancy for inserting the gene which we want in order to remove the contaminants with the help of Bacillus subtilis. Once this gene is inserted, that will cause to give us a genetically altered bacteria which is known as Bacillus subtilis. So in this case, as this genetically altered Bacillus subtilis is obtained, it is then utilized for the process of removing any biological waste such as oil, radioactive waste, or mercury, which or any other biological waste for which the gene gene for which the gene of interest is particularly inserted into that bacteria. So in this case, these are certain examples of bioremediation in bacteria. Moreover, there is an important role which is known as nitrogen fixation. So bacteria cannot directly, just raise it a bit. So plants plants cannot directly ingest plants cannot directly intake nitrogen into their body, right? They cannot directly inhale nitrogen or obtain it through the process of transpiration, since atmospheric nitrogen is larger in size, due to which it is unable to pass through the pores of the stromata. So the plants are required to absorb the nitrogen from the soil, and this time we cannot get atmospheric nitrogen to remain in the soil as a solid or liquid, because it's because it is a compound which tends to remain in its state as a gas. So what we really need to do is to convert this atmospheric nitrogen convert this atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate nitrate or nitrite convert it into nitrate or nitrite, which is then absorbed by the plant root and then is utilized for the plant metabolism. So in this case, there are certain mutualistic associations of plants with certain bacteria, which is considered as the mutualistic association or the mutualism. So here there are certain leguminous plants which have special structures, special tissues of roots present within their roots, which are known as the root nodules. These root nodules, which are round in shape, are tissues inside which the bacteria of species Rhizobium, genus Rhizobium, and cyanobacteria reside in and form a mutualistic association with the plant, which is a leguminous plant. And these bacteria formed over here are known as root nodulus bacteria. Root nodulus bacteria, right? And these root nodulus bacteria tend to benefit the plant by converting atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrate and nitrite, alongside which they tend to get food from the plant, since they are dependent on the plant for the nutrition, as well as they get shelter from the plant in return as a result of the mutualistic association. So as a result of this, this is how we consider the bacteria, root nodulus bacteria, to uh, you know form mutualistic association and help the nitrogen fixation. One more thing I would like to highlight over here is about the ecological importance of a humus. That's why humus is important. A humus is basically important because a humus is a compound which increases the soil fertility by increasing the number of nutrients in the soil, as well as by increasing the water holding capacity of the soil. So water retaining capacity of the soil as well as the nutrients in the soil are also increased by the increase by utilization of humus, which ultimately increases the soil fertility, and soil fertility increase results and increased growth of the plant, due to which there are more healthy crops growing in the plant. Apart from which, these were some of the aspects I wanted to discuss in the ecological importance. That's all about this video. Hopefully we'll meet again in another video.